Avoid wasted time and money. Don't skip the permit process when you're renovating your 100-year-old home in Toronto. The City of Toronto has lots of rules, lots of items that you need to comply with, like zoning, OBC, TRCA, all of those great governing authorities that we need to go through. And if you try to skip that process, trust me, it's not going to end well for you. Your project's not going to get off the ground, and you're just going to be constantly delayed before you even get started. Hey everyone, Mike here from MGB Building Group. Today, we're going to talk about something that most people dread, but is an absolute necessity, and you need to understand it before starting any project. And that's the permitting process in Toronto. Yes, I said it. I know nobody wants to hear it, but I said it. If you or your team don't understand how this works, your renovation will be over before it even starts. Let's talk about what permit and compliance actually means here in Toronto. You've got your zoning bylaws. That controls how much of your lot you can build on. If your setbacks, that defines how close you can get to your neighbors. You have height limits. That's probably going to restrict your third floor master ensuite that you've wanted. Renovations in older homes can complicate things a little bit more. You really have to know the area and what's allowable in them. Even if you do, your neighbors could oppose what you're trying to do with your lot. And in a lot of areas like Cabbagetown, Rosedale, and the Annex, you're also going to run into a little bit of the historical reviews, and the rules are even tighter. Certain items that you think are going to be really simple, putting that small addition on there, or maybe that window on the front of the house, that's going to trigger committee of adjustment for your addition, a historic committee for your front window. I know you paid for the lot, you own it, you want to do what you want. Unfortunately, that's not the case. Just like most things in life, we can't just do what we want to do. So they're following this process and going through all this stuff. It's making sure things are done right. It's protecting your investment, and you're not wasting any time, any money going through the approval process when it's done correctly. If you're planning a renovation, whether it's restoring that old 100-year-old home or thinking adding the addition, reach out to us for a consultation. We'll walk you through what your specific property is allowed, how long the permits are going to typically take, and what's needed to get your project approved the first time. We've been doing this for decades, and in Toronto, experience with permitting is everything. Click the link below and schedule your consultation. I see the same thing go wrong all the time. Someone decides to skip the permits, start the demo early, or forget the permits altogether. They figure we'll get the paperwork in later. 2 weeks goes by, here's the city inspector, stop work orders come in. All the work that the homeowner's done is done. It's wasted time. Someone else has to come in and review everything, make sure it's been built properly. Now you're not just behind schedule, you're spending thousands and thousands of dollars to fix all this stuff that should have never been done in the first place. And the worst part about it is those records never go away. So if you're trying to sell your home, you're trying to make some money off this, which, a lot of people look at these homes as a great investment. This never goes off title, and the buyer's lawyer is going to actually see this, and it could jeopardize the deal when you go and sell this property 10, 15 years down the road. So be careful. Get the permits and follow the plan for the permits. Let's chat about a project in Cabbagetown that we saved for these homeowners. It's your typical 100-year-old semi, double white brick, narrow lot, party wall, classic Toronto home with the classic Toronto renovation list here. Homeowners have been back and forth with bunch of contractors for about a year. A lot of them saying, don't bother with the permit, it's fine. Another said they'll get the drawings as they move along. My favorite was one of the builders actually said they had an engineer on their team and they could actually stamp and approve the project as it went on. And the city couldn't interfere with this. This engineer would overrule the city. I wish I had this engineer's contact and I had him on my team. But obviously, guys, we know there's no one that's going to overrule the city here, and we have to follow the permit process from the city here. And now I will, admit these particular clients did ask us to do it without permits, and I had to say, sorry, we can't do that. It's not what we do. I explained some time walking them through our process there, our drawings, our permitting, transparent costing, our pre-construction planning, all the great stuff we've built our reputation on. I didn't think it was enough to convince them to work within our process in the way we wanted, and we parted and went our separate ways. A few weeks later, clients called, all of a sudden they were agreeable to do things the way that we wanted to do. We got them signed up in our design agreement and moved them through the zoning review. And of course, the little addition they want to do off the back, it had to go to committee of adjustment. The building permit was going to be tied to TPZ and a heritage approval as well. Now, all these things that I'm talking about here and getting approvals on, they're all really easy to get approved, and it's just part of the process. Now, imagine these clients didn't listen to us and they didn't come back to us. They'd be looking at months of delays, lots and lots of money being spent on rent, countless reviews going back and forth with the city there. So, once we confirmed and we went through, did our architectural, mechanical, structural drawings, applied for our building permits, got our building permits, no cost overruns while waiting for this stuff. And we're able to obtain the permits very, very quickly and got the project off on a great start there for these clients. If you're planning to renovate your 100-year-old home in Toronto, there's a few things you need to do. First, start with your zoning and your property check. Before you even think about breaking ground, doing design, have a look, have us take a look, and let's see. Too many people just rush into this before, they've done any of the work to see what they're allowed to do. Zoning, setback, lot coverage, heritage status, any of those items that you need to check that out. It's going to tell you exactly what you can and can't do. And it could save you months of rework later. Because once you know what you're allowed, of course, you can design with confidence what you want to build and what you want to have on your property. Work with a professional who understands the 100-year-old homes. Planners, architects specialize in these 100-year-old homes. There's great architects out there and they do a great job with new homes, clean lots, modern builds, but they might not do the best when it comes to these 100-year-old homes in Toronto. So you want to make sure you have a team that understands how to adapt the design to the existing structure. Someone who knows how to hide the imperfections, maximize light and space, and make it all code compliant within these 100-year-old homes. That's what will get you started off on the right foot. If you're going to take anything from this video, if you listen to anything, listen to this one. Submit full packages. Everybody complains that the city is awful at getting back to them. Never. Takes forever to get the permits back. They don't review anything. They never get back to me in time, Mike. Submit full packages. There is checklist items that need to go in for every single project. And if they go in correctly the first time, you will get your permits back very, very quickly. We see large projects, new home builds, renovation permits for these 100-year-old houses. They come back within 3 to 4 weeks because we're submitting full packages. Everything that the city is looking for needs to be submitted in these packages. In case you didn't hear me, I'm going to say it one more time. Submit full permit packages. That is the number one thing you can do for yourself when dealing with the city. I get it. The permits, they're not the fun part of the renovation. No one shows off their permit drawings on Instagram. Well, some people do, but most don't. But they are the foundation of a successful project, especially here in Toronto. And when you work with a team that knows how to navigate the process, talk to the right people, and plan every detail, the project flows. No surprises, no stop work orders, no stress. Just confidence that your dream home is being built properly. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, click on our next video where we'll show you exactly how we plan and design these century-year-old Toronto homes from the ground up.